Hey guys, this is Tony here with SaltStrong, and in this video I wanted to explain why you may be experiencing a silent drag. Now, I like to call this a ghost drag, and what that is when your line is being pulled off with the drag going, you don't hear any clicking sound. Now, normally you should be hearing, that noise right there, but sometimes you may not hear that at all. It may come and go, or it just doesn't make that noise at all. So a few reasons why this happens. There are really two main reasons. Number one is going to be if you spool up your braid and you don't have any mono backing, or you don't have anything on there that is going to secure the braid to the spool. What's going to happen is, because braid is so slick, it's going to spin freely on the spool itself. So the test you can do is just start pulling on your line, tighten down your drag, pull on your line. And if you see the line itself, the entire spool of line spinning freely on the spool, and you don't see the spool actually moving, that means your braid is spinning, freely on the spool. So what you have to do is take that braid off, put some mono backing on there or electrical tape on the spool, and that will secure your braid to the spool. Now, the second main reason is going to be a mechanical issue. And if you take your spool off, go ahead and do that here. And this applies to just about any type of spinning reel. They have the same type of mechanism. It may look a little different, but it's the same concept that I'm going to show you here. So take your spool off. Make sure your washers are still intact. Sometimes when you take a spool off, you may have a washer stuck to the bottom. Make sure you don't lose those washers. Now, when you're looking at the spool underneath, you're going to see if we can see it here. You're going to see a little metal mechanism right there. As you can see, you should be able to see that metal. Either it'll look like a triangle or it'll look like a bar with a point on it. That has a spring attached to it. If that spring is broken or missing, your drag's going to be silent, because now that metal piece is just floating in there and it's not going to be able to click like it should. So to test that out, you're just going to push on that piece and it should snap right back into place. If that doesn't happen, if that piece doesn't snap back into place, that spring is broken or compromised or completely missing, so that piece needs to be replaced. And that's going to be really the main reason why you wouldn't hear your drag clicking. So this one is intact. Be sure to check out your reel, or actually your spool. Check underneath the spool, make sure that piece is in one piece and you don't have any springs missing, because that's going to be the number one culprit why your drag may be silent. Now, if that piece is broken, that doesn't affect your drag at all. You can still tighten your drag, you can loosen your drag, but you really have to pay attention to the line coming off the spool, because you can't actually hear it. And that's the whole purpose of being able to hear the drag, is to know, how tight the drag is or how loose it is, whether you should tighten it or loosen it. So definitely, if you have that issue with your reel, I would highly recommend getting that fixed. But again, it's not going to, affect whether you can tighten or loosen your drag. What will affect that is if your line is spinning freely on the spool because it's not spooled up properly. So that's something you definitely want to make sure you get fixed. So this question did come in from one of our insider members in our community, and if you're not familiar with the Insider Club, I highly recommend checking that out, where members have direct access to all the fishing coaches, where they can get their questions answered in the community, and also access to insider reports, where we go out and we show exactly where we're fishing, and most importantly, why we're fishing there based on the conditions and the trends. So definitely be sure to check that out at saltstrong.com. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to leave them down below.
If you're new to SaltStrong, just know we're the #1 online fishing club, because we actually guarantee that you'll start catching more inshore fish. Not only with tips and in-depth courses, but also with our new Smart Fishing Spots app that actually tells you exactly where to fish, when to fish there, plus so much more. You also save tons of money with tackle discounts and network with tons of anglers in your area in the Insider community. So thanks again for watching, and we hope to see you in the Insider community soon.